Oh boy. What a life.
There you go, Mr. Bill.
There I am.
I'm back. Happy New Year to everyone. Go ahead.
Where were you gone to?
I was gone last weekend.
I didn't even know it.
Yes, you did. Good morning, Anthony Golden.
Anthony Golden, I think he's just our permanent welcomer. Just our permanent way. He's always the first one. They used to scramble for it, and I think when Anthony got in the game, they just went, screw it, we can't compete with him.
Good morning, Don Morin and Cheryl Morin. I'm so sorry I didn't get to see you guys. And Jack Friedman, go to YouTube page, like it.
Well, they have to understand that when you flew to California, your schedule
And I didn't have a car.
with the Cancer Foundation, but even if you had a car, your Cancer Foundation, you had your big board meeting, and then you had your show, and then I think you had a day that was open at the end, didn't you? But you didn't have a car.
Nope, didn't have any time.
Yeah, so we apologize, but we really don't have anything to apologize for. But
Good morning, Misty Soper, Randy Hellman,
yep,
Derek Kustra,
Derek Kustra,
Jerry Nicholson, good morning.
the Nicholson family.
And his daughter Kayla said hello too.
Well, all right. All right. People may not understand why that we stand here for a while before we start our show. And the reason is that we have got reports of some people that it takes 5 minutes of us already being on the air before they get it. Some of them say 30 seconds, and the majority says, no, it's right on time, but we don't want anybody to miss anything.
Good afternoon, Jeff McLaughlin.
Jeff McLaughlin.
Diana Lee, good morning.
Good morning, Diana.
Debbie Barker Garcia, good morning.
Is that Debbie
Debbie
Barker
and Joe.
Garcia?
Uh-huh. Deb and Joe.
Deb and Joe who?
Garcia from California. They went on the cruise with us.
Yes, they did. Oh, man, I can't believe I went totally blank. Yeah, Deb and Joe and their son, Sam, who helped open the church for us. They were in our and she was actually one of the music directors.
She puts Bill.
Oh, I'm sure she's going to.
Exclamation.
Yeah, I'm sure
You'll have to send him a private message, Deb.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your trip?
Oh, it was wonderful. Well, we had, it was Elvis's birthday last weekend, and it was just great. But then we lost his daughter this week.
Yeah, that hit your community pretty hard.
That hit real hard. But, God has a plan. We just have to accept it.
We also lost Jeff Beck. In my opinion, one of the greatest guitar players I'd ever heard. We weren't necessarily friends. We met each other 2 or 3 times. But I did, and you and I did enjoy his music. I think we bought like every album way back when they had the vinyls that he had out, Jeff Beck. And seemed like we lost someone else.
Carol Cook. I think we've lost 4 or 5 in January already.
Yeah.
So. Good morning, Valerie Josso.
That's our loss, and that's heaven's gain.
John Lutz, David Lowe.
John Lutz.
Craig Meyer, good morning.
Craig and Tammy and Samantha.
Yes.
Little Sammy. I remember, first time I remember being around Sammy. I mean, I watched her grow up. I mean, really had fun. She had to be about, 8 years old?
Oh, she was younger than that.
And we just the 2 of us hit it off. And believe me, with her grandpa around, Jim, that's something because she idolized her grandfather. And but we've had quite a week, and our hearts and our prayers do go out to the Presley family. In case some of you don't know, Sherry sings backup for many of the top ETAs, which is the Elvis tribute artists. Don't call them impersonators. They're very touchy about that. They're tribute artists. And Sherry, they're the best. Yes. They are the best in the world. They fly in from Brazil, and all the other
England.
places, the best, literally the best. And they've asked my wife,
Somehow, I'm still doing it.
and you're still singing, still singing.
And I was lucky I got to see Dr. John and Jan West
Yes.
and all the Pink Journey Angels, and we had a great
You had
board
several
meeting.
of them came to your show.
Yes,
Yep.
27.
27 of them that came to the show.
Well, Joe and Charlotte came, and they brought Mr. Morrison. Judith and Lottie came.
Oh, Lottie, I didn't know that Judith and Lottie came. Yeah.
Yeah,
See what I find out just doing my show?
I know. And Tammy Wiley and Susie.
And Susie, who have come and stayed with us. Well, what I did while you were gone was nothing.
We also lost Robbie Knievel.
Robbie died?
The son, he's 60 years old, yeah.
Well, I knew him. We were friends up in Sturgis.
Well, he passed away.
He's the one that I told you there, that gigantic Sam Kinison stage, and I think John Lutz might have been with me, and he jumped a motorcycle over the stage with what they call a hard landing. In other words, there wasn't a ramp on the other side, and pretty much, I think probably totaled this motorcycle, but I forget, man. They put it up for auction. I forget, somebody paid thousands of dollars.
Yeah, John Lutz.
But I did not know he
said we
passed
saw him
away.
in Sturgis.
Yeah, John and I.
Thank you, Michael Mesmer. He said, I'm an awesome vocalist.
Yes, you are, and he's an awesome hypnotist and magician. But both of you the best I know.
Okay, well, you
The
might
best
have
I know.
20 minutes left, buddy.
All right, well, that's plenty. I want to start off with probably my favorite scripture in the Bible. I have quoted it to you many, many, many times. And I think just in this there's so much truth. It's Proverbs 23:7. As a man thinks, so is he. If there's no other scripture in the Bible I want you to memorize, it's that. As a man thinks, so is he. In other words, you are what you think. I think that it's just tremendous. The Kinisonism today is you must learn to deal with the economy that does not economize. You must learn to deal with the economy that does not economize. You must learn to deal with the infinite economy of God in you. Now, the reason I want to talk on this today is we've been hearing a lot about the economy over the last couple of years. And we had good times, and then a couple years ago it got to be tough times. And we've been hearing about the economy ever since. Experts, they come up with, I don't know, I always wonder, how do these guys get paid? But they come up with all kinds of stuff, and some of the things they've been suggesting are interesting because they've been suggesting different things and trying to figure out what would be the best thing to do to improve the economy. I'm going to give you the Bill Kinison remedy to your comedy. You see, people have come up with amazing ideas, and I want to analyze some of them now, and I want to put them to rest. I want to find out exactly what's going on and how you're going to benefit. You see, some people have the idea that perhaps, and I almost lose it every time I hear one of the government officials on TV tell us that what we have to learn to do is use less. So some people have the idea that perhaps it will cure the material economy if each of us uses less. That just flabbergasted me. I got to have a drink on that one. It amazes me. These are educated people. These are professional economists. They went to college. They have degrees. And they tell us that the way to help the economy is use less. I'm sorry, I can't agree with that. they suggest that by using less, we will have more. I want you to listen to this. It's a fallacy. Now, let me tell you what a fallacy is. A fallacy is a very dignified way of saying it's a lie. That's exactly what a fallacy is. And they are giving us fallacies. In other words, they're lying to us. They're lying to us. It is a fallacy to think that by using less, we will have more. One of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life. There's two salacious statements that I'd like to debunk right here. First one is, it's a fallacy to think these things. You want to know what a fallacy is? That by enjoying less, you'll have more. That's the first thing. That's a fallacy. That's a lie. They also, that by giving up or not having good, that this self-denial will help other people. No, it won't. It's a fallacy. It's a lie. Now, you see, you got to learn to deal with the economy that does not economize. Boy, you all hang up and go, he's lost it. Just listen, hear me out today. You must learn to deal with the infinite economy of God in you. That's the economy that you want to work and you want to learn, you want to know. Is that you have to learn to deal with that. Now let's turn all of the fallacious beliefs around and let's make them positive beliefs. You see, the correct use and the correct enjoyment appropriate more to use and to enjoy. That's what it will do. You see, I'm talking about the psychological economy of the subconscious mind. Don't get lost in the big words. It's very simple. That's why I teach you to use and you to enjoy the good which you have. Learn to enjoy that. The more you use and the more you enjoy the good which you have, the more good you'll create for you to use and enjoy. This is the way it's supposed to work. That's why I'm constantly telling you, don't save your good dishes for when the preacher comes to visit. And I've been a preacher and I know they do that. Clean the house and wash up the kids and get out the good dishes. The preacher's coming today. Get out the good dishes. Take your good things out and use them. But enjoy yourself. Don't wait for the preacher to come. Don't wait. You know, we inherited actually, I think, a really nice Christmas set of dishes from my mother. Actually, I think she gave them to me before she ever passed. But she gave us these beautiful dishes. Do you know we never use them? One of the reasons is we have them in storage, and then Sherry doesn't want to mess with it and everything else. But we have nice dishes. And we had a good friend that lived with us for 2 or 3 years, Paul Jones. He's my friend my entire life. And him living with us was never like a visitor. He was just part of the family. But one thing that used to just upset him was I like to use paper plates. If I'm just getting me a snack or something like that, I'll use paper plates. That way I throw them away. I don't have to wash them and put them in the washer and all that kind of stuff. Used to upset him. I'm not talking about he didn't want to do it. It upset him because I'm not eating off a paper plate. I am not eating off of a paper plate. I want good dishes. I want to eat off of good dishes. And so I think of him when I'm saying this. Take out your good things and enjoy yourself.
Mom wouldn't even buy paper plates.
Oh, well, you just jump in anytime. Your mother, she despised paper plates
She
too?
wouldn't buy them, remember?
Oh, I know she wouldn't buy them. But anyway, don't ever think that anything is too good for you. There's nothing that's too good for you. Let every day, Sherry sings or used to sing a song that was one of my favorites, that every day will be like Sunday. Heaven without end. Well, you know what? Make every day of your life be like Sunday. Make every day. Sherry and I remember somebody told us a couple years ago, said, don't you guys ever dress like bums? And I go, why? Why would we do that? Every day is just like Sunday. Live it that way. Enjoy what you have. Don't think anything is too good for you. If all you have left in your pocket, and I've been there, if all you have left in your pocket right now is $1, now you really can't buy much for $1 anymore. But if all you have left is $1, do something with that dollar that you will enjoy. Don't sit on it. Don't hide it under your pillow. Don't stick it in your sock. Enjoy something with that dollar. You see, bless it and enjoy it. Sharon and I have been there, I'm telling you. You see, the enjoyment of good increases and multiplies the good. You got to enjoy what you have. Then you'll get more. Your good will give you more good. Whether you have little or whether you have much, enjoy. My Jewish friends and associates use that word enjoy as a parting greeting that always turns me on. At first it took me a little while to get used to it. You're getting ready to leave and they go enjoy. Enjoy, man. When I hear that now, it just excites me. They'll say to me, enjoy. And it does something good to me. And it should do something good to you. That greeting should release the joy potential inside of you. Remember, the infinite within you, the God in you, takes many forms. And one of the many forms that is taken is joy. You'll never convince me otherwise. Joy is God. God is joy. You have within you an unlimited joy potential. You see, some people forget that they should enjoy life. To some people, life has become a chore. Life has become a job. Just getting, Lord, this is nothing new. When I was a kid, they used to pray that would you pray for me that I can hold on to the end? Make it through this day. How depressing is that? You need to enjoy life. People forget that. You need to enjoy life, enjoy every day. They talk instead about austerity. They talk about using less. They talk about enjoying less. How does that help you? I wish every government official would listen to me this morning and listen to this, because you don't make sense. Those who understand the mind of Christ in us know that we are always dealing with the infinite, or always dealing with this God in us. I talk to him all the time, or her, it, whatever the case might be. But I talk to God continually. When I was a kid, I used to wonder, because they'd say, pray without ceasing. Well, man, we'd have all-night prayer services, and I'd be done praying in a minute. I'd already prayed for the world and everything else, didn't know what else to pray for. So I just kind of sit around there. And I'd admire some of these people that had these flowery prayers. And I thought, man, how spiritual are. Now that I look at it, I'm not so sure it's that spiritual. But praying without ceasing is literally communicating with the God in you always. Always. You see, when we know that through this presence and power of God in us, we can always appropriate an abundance of good. It's just automatic. If you can grasp this truth, listen to me. If you could grasp this truth, your problems of supply in any form would be over. If you just grasp this one truth. The success, your health, your prosperity, that battle would be always over. I'm always dealing with the God in me, and you are too. You just may not realize it. I'm not dealing with anything that's not more of. I'm not going to deal with anything that's less. You know, when they ask them about they ask the government about the gas, the oil, and our heating. Well, you just have to wear an extra sweater. That's what they said. This is their advice. You just have to not drive as much. Wait a minute. I don't want less. I want more. I want more. Everything that there's a so-called shortage of right now, I'm telling you now, there's more of it. They're telling you that there's a shortage of oil. Believe me, there's more. There's more of it. Here in our own country, we have enough that we never have to buy another barrel from another country. Even the so-called oil shortage. I remember, oh man, had to be in the early 70s. Sherry and I hadn't been married maybe about 2 or 3 years. We lived in Oklahoma, pastoring a church in Oklahoma City. And they said they had a shortage of oil. And you could only get gas by the number on your license plate. If the last number was odd, which would be 1, 3, 5, whatever, you could get gas on these days. If your license plate ended with a even number, 2, 4, 6, 8, then you would have gas, you could get gas on this day. And I remember the first day that they did that, I thought, I'm not going to keep doing this. I believe there is no shortage. Well, you know what? I don't know what happened. After a few weeks, all of a sudden, we could get gas again. There was plenty of gas. You see, when all of you are cutting back and complaining that you couldn't get enough gas, Sherry and I refused to participate in that. We just refused to do it. The whole world was having its gas shortage, and here Sherry and I, we looked at it a different way. We had the freeways all to ourselves. All to ourselves. Because, you see, I'm dealing with the economy that will not economize. I'm not dealing with the world's economy, with the government's economy. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to deal with the economy that will not economize. It will not cut back. I'm dealing with the kind of economy that Jesus knew. John 18:36. Didn't Jesus say this? My kingdom is not of this world. That was the words of our master psychologist, of our master miracle worker, of our older brother. My kingdom is not of this world. Well, it's the same thing that I'm dealing with. Unlimited economy. My economy is not of this world. I don't depend on this world's economy. You see, when you learn about this infinite economy, shortage will not come near you. It may go to your neighbor's house, it may go around. It will not come near you. The other folks will have their cars parked on the sides of the road, and you and I will share that freeway together, because we will not, what they call, economize. My economy is not of this world. Another fallacy the experts tell us is that we should start doing without the extras of life. This is what they mean by austerity. They tell us we should start practicing cut-back living. But if we start doing without, if we start buying less, then everything cuts back and the economy gets worse. I didn't even get a degree in this. I'm using just reasonable sense. You see, when I tell you to live abundantly, that doesn't mean to live wastefully. Living with the extras does not contradict efficiency. I define efficiency as making the most of everything, including time, effort, materials, manpower, and mind power. And to live an abundant life, you have to be efficient in the use of all these things, especially your mind. Choose what you're going to be. Choose what you're going to do. Choose what you're going to have and what you're not going to be, what you're not going to do, and what you're not going to have. It's up to you. You choose. You can live in the most beautiful house you've ever had, or you can live in a dump. That's up to you. Not up to anybody else. It's up to you. And don't use your mind on any idea that doesn't promote health, happiness, love, success, and prosperity. Let me tell you something. Just want to take a personal moment at the end of this program. I want to tell you something. I've had people tell me that I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I don't know whatever happened to that silver spoon. Whatever you went through in your life that you consider rough, I can match it, I think. I think Sherry could match it. We got together, we got married, and to this day, we've been in union about helping other people. I want to tell you how far Sherry and I, not to make us look good, but I'm going to tell you why God blesses us and why God helps us and gives to us, that God in us. We have given, I remember we went to California to manage Sam, 1986. And I thought, you know what? We had a beautiful, brand new condominium. We hadn't, I don't know if we lived, I think we lived in that for about 2-3 years. Just beautiful. Sherry designed it, actually, and then decorated it. But she actually designed the floor plan for this condominium. We sat down and we said, you know what? We can sell this condominium, or we can give it to somebody. Just give it to them. So you know what we did? I don't think they'll mind me saying this because they have said it publicly themselves, but the Green family attending our church, ask them, would you love to have a beautiful condominium? Yes. So come on over. We move out, you can move in. It's all yours. Sherry and I have we gave a church in Peoria, Illinois to the people. We started we took over the church in Rockford. We had a big, beautiful, probably the most beautiful church I've ever pastored physically, there in Peoria. And I just didn't feel right about trying to sell it, even though we had personally bought this church. So you know what we did? We turned around and gave it. We gave it. We've had people in our crusades that would get up and go, I want to give you an automobile. And I'd thank them for it, and I meant sincere thanks. Then I'd look around and go, who needs an automobile? And right there on the spot, I'd give them that automobile. Somebody said, well, you've always had it good. No. There's sometimes at the same time, Sherry and I never had food to eat. I remember we were in Fort Worth, Texas, and preaching what preachers called a welfare church. In other words, if you weren't there at the first of the month, you didn't get anything because they didn't have anything. We were there preaching. And we thought the ship would come in on Sunday. During the week, we didn't have any money. We stayed in one of the worst motels that we had stayed in. And then we would pray on the way to church, God, give us enough money tonight to eat at White Castle. Now, White Castle at that time had 15-cent hamburgers. And we did that for a week. We got up to go to church on Sunday just knowing these folks are going to bring in all the money they had pledged. It snowed and the blizzard so bad, no one could get to the church. So we had absolutely nothing, and we had nothing in our pockets. We went home, which was in Tulsa. We drove home to Tulsa, and our car broke down. God spoke to a lady in the church there at Tulsa and told her to fix our car. And so she came up to me. She owned a telephone company. She came up to me and said, Brother Kinison, God told me to fix your car. She didn't even know that it was broke down. You remember that, Sherry? Said, I want to fix your car. And I said, her name was Mildred Tuddy. Yep. And I said, Mildred, it's a big problem. It's going to be quite a bit of money. She said, I don't care how much it is. God told me. So you take it over here to my dealer, and they're going to fix that car. So Sherry and I have known the best. We've known both ends. We have given houses. We've given churches. If somebody said they liked my sport coat, what would I do, Sherry?
Take it off and give it to them.
They had to be awful small, but I'd give it to them. Folks, I want you to know something today. The economy doesn't depend on Joe Biden. It doesn't depend on his czars that he has in control. It doesn't depend on Donald Trump. Your economy is not of this world. Your economy is by the God in you. Start declaring what you want in your life. There's a few things that Sherry and I figured out, and I'm going to close her. I know time's up. There's a few things we have figured out in our life. We both were raised in Pentecostal churches where money is bad. Yet people were working their tail off to make as much as they could, and still they couldn't understand why they never ever had enough. somewhere along the road, Sherry and I figured out money is good. Instead of hating money, Sherry and I started loving money. Oh, I know some of you are about to lose it here, but I'm just telling you what works for us.
We learned to be givers.
That's what we did at an early age. Sometimes she put more in the offering than I get in the offering. But we were givers, and we made up our mind we were going to do that. Very few preachers did we ever preach for in their church that we didn't leave them and give them money when we left, when they paid us. And most of them was just blown away. You say, why? It comes back. My economy is not of this world. My economy is the God in us. Heavenly Father, I thank you for the time you've given us this morning. I thank you for the ears that you have opened up to hear this word today. God, let them be blessed. Let them have blessings come from areas they never even thought about. Let them be well, touch their body physically to where sickness cannot dwell in that temple. God, bring them happiness and joy. And I'll give you all the praise. Amen. Well, God love every one of you. We're going to be back next Sunday. I love you. Sherry loves you. God loves you. God bless America.
Thank you for all the likes and all the hearts. We love you all.
Are they giving us hearts and lights?
Yes, a lot of them.
Well, all right. Well, right back to you then.